All right, I'm Marissa Hunley. I'm here with Tammy Mendez, who is the Managing Director for Strategic Response Partners Disaster Management. And her and the group that she deployed to our area with just got here. They literally just drove to our news station to give us some good tips on getting prepared and exactly what they do. So, Tammy, go over what Strategic Response Partners does.
Definitely. We're a rapid response team of experts. We specialize in the preparedness, the response time, and property restoration before and during after a storm.
And so how many people from your group actually came? You guys came from all over the country through the company. How many people are here?
Right now I have 10 people that are arriving today. There's 8 of us here now. I have 2 coming in tonight. I have 4 more coming in tomorrow.
And so what exactly, will you guys be doing during the storm and after?
So before the storm, we go out and we'll meet with asset owners at hospitals, colleges, large condominium complexes, and we'll speak to them about a call plan for whoever's staying on site during a storm. We'll speak to them about what they can do to secure their building and what they should do if they do decide to stay, what they should do to remain safe. After the storm, we will be on site as soon as we can safely get on site. When there's water in the building, when the roof is ripped off, when there is severe damage to property, we get there. We have air movers, we have generators, we have desiccants to get the water out of the buildings, to get the roofs secured, and to bring these properties back to whole so people can get back in.
And so will SRP be helping? This isn't for everybody. This is just for these assets.
It's for anybody and everybody. We are here to assist and be in service to the public.
And so how can people reach you?
So they can reach us, through our website, which is srp24.com.
Okay.
They can also reach us, and I'll steal this from you, they can also reach us at our dispatch number. It's a 24-hour dispatch, which is 888-582-5848.
Okay. And so when they call, what kind of things can they ask you guys?
They can ask us anything and everything. Part of our expert team does consist of first responders. I have retired fire captains. I have current firefighters on our team. We have retired SWAT commanders. I'm an ex-police officer. So if it comes down to public safety, their health, whatever it might be, our radio transmissions, it all goes through the same system as the EMT, so we're able to communicate with one another, and we can assist them with anything they like. I actually have one of our first responders here with us that does assist us on site. It'd be great to kind of get his intake on that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Did you want to bring him in now?
Absolutely.
Or did you want to
let's bring him in.
Continue talking?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And this is Michael
Saavedra.
Saavedra. Okay.
Hey, Mike, you want to come on over?
Thank you so much, Tammy.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. So you just drove in from where? Where did you come from?
We flew in from Miami, and we just drove in. We landed in Greensboro yesterday, and we just drove through. We just got here about 15 minutes ago. We came straight here because the message is that important. We want to help. We want to definitely inform the public. There's a lot of things that we want people to understand, that this is a very dangerous storm that's making its way here. And I have a couple tips for everybody.
Perfect.
We need to know, the people that are here, let me rephrase that. This is a very serious storm. This is not something to be joking around with. This is going to be a completely different area tomorrow morning. Or the morning after the storm, when you guys wake up. We do not want anybody going outside. That's rule number 1. There's going to be power lines that are down. There's going to be debris everywhere. First off, secure yourselves. Make sure that you have the medicines that you need. First responders are going to be very tied up. There's different deployment teams from all over the United States that are coming here to help. FEMA is sending task forces from all over to come here to come help. But we need to make sure that as far as the people that are at home, you're doing your part. Don't make extra work. Secure yourselves, secure your homes. Do not go out when it's raining. Be like, oh man, look at this wind. There's countless emergencies that come from negligence.
And so when do you guys actually deploy to emergencies during and after the storm?
The good part about SRP is that when we respond, we like to get there before the emergency is gonna happen, the storm, hurricane, whatever it is. We have years and years of experience of stabilizing an unstable situation. So when we show up, the first thing that we're doing is we're informing everybody that we know what it takes to get the local mom and pop business to the big commercial building, to the university, to the hospital. We have a history with this company where a hospital, or different hospitals actually, had lost power, had generators but no gas. And we have come in and be like, listen, we're going to get everybody up and running because this is a trauma center. This is a hospital. We're here to help everyone. And we want to put things back in service. That's our goal.
Okay. And so, you know, a lot of course, emergency officials will not be responding to those in mandatory evacuation zones. Is that different for you guys?
We're going to be in the area. We're not going to be responding during the storm. We're just like everybody else. We're going to make sure that we're safe. We can't.
Yeah.
It's these winds are very deadly. After 40-mile-an-hour winds during a storm will quickly cause an accident with a vehicle. So that's another tip for people is do not try to drive, do not try to navigate through this storm. There's a certain time where you are not driving to evacuate anymore. If you're choosing to bunker down, do so wisely. Make sure that you secure your possessions. Make sure there's pots and pans that are outside. There's potted plants. There's everything that you hang outside your home. It could be a projectile.
And so, you know, when the tropical storm force winds come in, I believe tomorrow evening into Thursday, can you still drive in those conditions?
Now, the thing with tropical storms is that there's outer bands. A lot of these outer bands, we have this Category 5 hurricane that's going to be coming through and reaching warm waters, and it's going to intensify. So these outer bands, they could be projected to be just as strong as a Category 2 or 3 hurricane as it's coming in, and it's the outer band of the storm. We need to really put ourselves in a perspective where we are saying we are not going to put ourselves in harm's way to just leave. There's going to be an emergency response system. I've been getting alerts on my phone all day long, or your cell phone will tell you, that you're in an evacuation zone. I'm sure the mayor of Wilmington, everybody's going to be advising people to evacuate. Now, if you have family that's in Wilmington, such somebody that could be in a nursing home, I would definitely call and be like, what are you guys doing for the storm? What are you guys doing to prepare? How is my loved one going to be? The animals that people have, you're going to have to bring them indoors. Make sure you have the dog food, the cat food. Make sure you're securing your property.
It's interesting you brought up the nursing home aspect. I had a friend who called me and said her father is in a nursing home in Pender County, which is just north of New Hanover County, and they were not under a mandatory evacuation, and so her family was staying because he's still there. Wow. Yeah, it's just a scary situation, but, she called, and apparently that building is able to sustain Category 4 winds. Right. So I know a lot of people are wondering about that and possibly staying because family members are not evacuating and they can't take them from a nursing home because they need that medical care. So
now, what we need to all remember is that if they're in a facility that is designed to take hurricane force winds, like Type 5 construction building that's made of concrete and they have generators that are underground or put away. This is a facility that's prepared. There's no home that's in Wilmington that is hurricane proof. Yeah. Not even these big super centers for these storms. We need to understand that if this family member is in a nursing home that is built to be part of a defense for this hurricane, they're safer. That doesn't mean that they're invincible. Yeah. And it's not like the whole family is going to be able to just go into this nursing home either. They're going to secure the building. We can't plan on just showing up and like, hey, we're going to ride the storm out here. If you're in an evacuation zone, you need to evacuate. That's what an emergency operations center is deeming that we do.
I mean, because all the coastal areas are under mandatory evacuations, and New Hanover County, for instance, the county is under a voluntary evacuation.
Right.
So what do you say to that? Even me, I live like 2 blocks away from a tidal creek.
Right.
So a lot of our neighbors, some are leaving, some aren't. Right. What do you say to people like that who are not technically in a mandatory evacuation zone? A lot of people have called and they ask us what they should do, and we can't answer that.
If we have elected officials that have taken on the mantle of preparedness And their job is to get with the correct people to come together to look at these plans and look at these cities and say, we are in an area that we deem this is a mandatory evacuation zone. If it's a voluntary evacuation zone, they're telling you that you have the option of staying or going.
Yeah.
If it's mandatory, the
Right,
emphasis
right.
is in mandatory.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, I guess at that point when it's voluntary, you have to make that decision for you and your family. And I think that's what we've been telling people. You know, we can't make this decision for you. It's up to you.
Safety is key to big families that have their kids running around. I would definitely tell, we're on a coastline, I would definitely tell people, do not go out there and try to surf this hurricane.
Oh, well,
There's
yeah.
people that,
I mean, you say that and it's like a no duh,
but believe it or not,
so many people do it. We show live cameras, you know, of Wrightsville Beach right now, and you look and there are so many surfers out there.
it's
dangerous.
where I'm from, surfing is big in Miami, and we have the same people do it. And the thing isn't, like, I understand people taking the risk and trying to do that, but we have to put safety number one. If you're going anywhere in the time where a ban is affecting, you are putting yourself in harm's way. And just don't think about you, but think about the responders that now have to go in to this unstable ocean that's aggressive to go save you. So it's not just you, it's who's coming to get you. Everybody's going to be in a dangerous situation.
Yeah. So let's talk about the people who have decided, you know, they're in a voluntary evacuation zone. They've decided they're going to stay. There's so much information that's being pumped out there, what you need to do, your checklist. But there's also a lot of misinformation too, and what not to do.
Mm-hmm.
A big one that's been going around is, you know, you should not tape your windows because that can just throw large shards of glass, and it does not stop the glass from breaking. So, do you have any tips, or does anybody else have any tips on what you shouldn't waste your time doing?
First and foremost, what I would not waste my time doing, taping the windows is one form of trying to stabilize it. I would definitely not waste my time with not doing anything. You know, like being proactive is being proactive. If tape is all you have, you know, then tape is all you have.
Okay.
And at the same time, there are different measures. If we put ourselves in a position to be successful, we will be successful. With SRP, the one thing that we do is there's a lot of mom and pops places. There's a lot of even commercial buildings that they're going to be confused after the storm hits. And where we cover everything is, we've done this before, and we're the best at it. And it's the only reason why I'm involved with the companies, because we are the best. We will show up and put these people back into business that are going to affect the livelihood in your community. So that gas station that is closed can now pump gas to people, can now sell bags of ice. That hospital that lost power will have power. And I mean, I testify to you guys. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah. And
We're
this is
prepared for that.
a nonprofit?
This is SRP is a company that we respond to different emergencies throughout the world. I mean, that's what we've been doing.
We are
We-
a for-profit company.
Not for profit. Okay.
We are for profit.
For profit. Sorry.
Right. But we do pick the best of the best for this reason. So we have the best roofers that have the equipment that we can cover the entire city. We have plumbers, we have general contractors, we work with local vendors too, and we're here to help, and we're prepared to help, and that's the key word, is we're prepared to help.
And what have you responded to other hurricanes?
I have. I've been to Haiti. I've been to Texas. I've been to Puerto. I've been there. I have the experience doing it. It's putting myself in a position where I'm able to come and be a part of an effective team. And we cover every different example that can come. We always think about how to make it better.
And so, from your experience in Haiti, in Houston, what do you bring to Wilmington as far as, you know, things that you've learned from, seen in the communities happen there? What did you learn from, I guess, first as a first responder and somebody on this team?
There's a lot of companies and business owners that don't understand the rights that they do have. And that's where we work, that's where we excel. A lot of people, they don't know the avenues that they have. My family, we own a business. We put our soul into the business. And then to have an emergency happen, there's so many people that have these avenues to receive help, but they just don't know how to get there.
So what kind of avenues?
Like we'll show up and we'll see what's going on with the building. Sometimes even losing a roof can close a business for good. Some people don't have the money to cover a roof or cover a hole. We literally show up and we'll say, listen, we're going to secure your roof. We'll take care of everything else later. Let's get you back in business. And that's what's important to us.
I think some of the key pointers that we look out for the customers is we try to advise them in advance. This is the pre-planning stages. Get your insurance policies, put them inside Ziploc bags.
Do you want to come and talk about
Yeah.
that? Okay. Sorry, good
Thank
segue,
you.
I guess.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, so this is Captain Mark Cruz.
Mark Cruz, just Mark Cruz.
Just Mark, okay. So, yeah, talk about that. Documents. We've been mentioning this a lot in newscasts about what people should be protecting before the storm and taking with them. So, what are the big tips that you have?
So try to keep all those things safe, dry, big Ziploc bags if you can. We were just at Big Lots beforehand. They still have Ziploc bags. The grocery store right down the street also has Ziploc bags and other items. If you have those fire safety safes, I would put that information, the vital information, your birth certificates.
List off the documents that we need to be.
First and foremost would probably be your insurance policies. I would get those, put those inside a nice safety Ziploc bag, put it inside your drawers. Any IDs, any state IDs that you might have, social security cards. Those are the things that I would put in Ziploc bags and put them in there first, before any memorabilia, before any pictures of your family. That's the most important things that you guys need.
And
Deeds to a house also, I'm sorry.
okay. And what about pictures? A lot of people are talking about pictures, taking pictures before the storm.
That's wow. You should come
We've
work
been
with us.
talking about this for a few days, so.
Well, yeah, take pictures of around your house. Take pictures of your items, of what you have. Make sure you document, your ring that you're wearing and whatnot. So for your insurance companies, that way, if anything gets lost or blown out of the house, you need to be able to correctly show your insurance companies what's missing, what's gone, what's happened during the storm.
And I'm sure a lot of people are watching right now who say they don't have flood insurance.
So,
what do you?
so that's why our job is very valuable, and what we do, we don't interpret the law. What we do is we make sure that we inform the customers what exactly their insurance policies read and what they're doing. Sometimes
So you kind of make sense of it because a lot
Correct.
of people can't read through the lines.
I don't. She does, but she's very good at it.
So you've got somebody that can
Yeah.
tell you exactly what what's covered and what's not.
For those large asset owners, people that own large buildings here in the community, I strongly recommend you talk to any attorney that specializes in insurance litigation. Talk to them, show them your insurance policies, make sure that your coverages are up to date, make sure you know what your proper coverage is, what your deductibles are, and the bad rumor that goes around that that I wouldn't reach my deductible. Don't go by that. Go based on what the facts are. I have insurance. Let's see what can happen.
And so do you guys mainly, I know you said you help everybody, but are you kind of geared towards the bigger businesses, the bigger buildings and companies in the area?
Well, I like to say it like flight attendants, right? When you walk in an airplane and they say, in case of emergency, when the oxygen mask comes down, secure yourself first, then your children. That's kind of what we do. We secure the big ones first.
So like the
And
hospitals, the nursing
like the
homes.
hospital, the nursing homes, let's say big apartment buildings where we cover the whole building. All those things are the type of places that we like to help out because the stronger we are, something happens, you need that hospital open. You need the shelters open. You need power in those places. You need water out of them. You might not have a house and your shelter is now without power and full of water. So what do? That's why we go attack top down.
Okay. And so will you guys be going out before the storm?
We are before the storm.
Oh, you
yes.
are? Okay.
Yeah.
So where are you going? Are you going anywhere tonight or tomorrow?
Tonight we kind of see where the pattern's going, or we have our team back home that's looking at where the model is projecting it, and we try to head to those areas and warn our customers as well as other potential clients around the area. Warn them, tell them, hey, look, exactly what we're telling you now. Where are your insurance policies? Did you consult with your attorney? And we try to prepare them in advance. These are things. Right now, they're worried about their homes. Here's what happens: a storm's coming. Oh my God, I got to protect my house. And the general managers or the property managers of the big buildings, they're they've got how many different worries? They have their house, their family, that building, and their families. So it's a big risk. We kind of come in and try to take over and help out as much as we can.
And so what area do you guys cover? Is it just
Right.
Wilmington?
No. We're going to be spread out throughout the whole coastline.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to be spread out throughout the whole coastline.
And so are you kind of hunkering down here before the storm and
Yeah.
then after the storm dispatch where you're needed?
Correct. Today and tomorrow, tonight we'll be assessing where each team will be, and we'll be teams of two, team 2 or 3, and we'll be out there. And every team will have a first responder with them, somebody that's professional, somebody that knows exactly what to do during an emergency.
And this is kind of off topic, but a question that I had and a lot of people have is communication and cell phones. That's how everybody communicates now. What happens during
So
a
that's
big
good-
storm like
so
this?
That's a good thing. So I worked Maria and Irma. I
Mm-hmm.
was in Puerto Rico and Boca. I'm sorry, not Boca, Marco Island. There were no cell towers anywhere, no power. So you woke up, you look up, there's a hole in the wall, water coming in. What do we do now? Well, we have communications lines set up so that we can communicate with the proper individuals. We use the same type of systems that the EMTs use. Michael brought that in with us, and that's what we kind of use, the Viper system, where we communicate with them. So we're able to communicate with each other. Everybody's within 30 miles of each other. So we'll be able to communicate with each other, and we're communicating with the outside through those systems. You'll be able to contact. In Puerto Rico, some people haven't been able to, they weren't able to talk to their families in over 2 or 3 weeks. They didn't know whether they were alive. Our
Jeez.
sat phones were the only things that really brought them back to awareness that, hey, I am alive, I'm here, everything's
So
okay.
how did that work? Did they call you and say, I need to contact my family?
Well,
And-
we're going to be out there. We're going to. There's customers that already know us, and through you guys and other thing, they know that reach us. They know how to. They know where we're at. We're going to let everybody know exactly where we're at, and it's going to be close to wherever it is. And we'll be stationed right after the storm. We'll be in that area, so they'll be able to reach out, and we'll be going through there. So if a storm hits whatever section, we'll have the majority of our group there.
Okay. So what's your advice, for people ahead of the storm? Because I know for everyone here that will be working through the storm, our family members are either evacuated or at home, and we possibly won't be able to be in contact with them.
Make sure everybody's safe. So the one thing that I've learned from Michael and Tammy and Steve, who's the CEO of the company and the managing partner, is make sure that everybody's safe. Just like I told you beforehand, when the flight attendant says stabilize yourself first, make sure that you're safe. And when you're safe, you'll be able to help others. You'll be able to help yourself and your family members. That's the first, and that's the most important. Second most important thing is make sure your documents are safe. Make sure those documents are safe, because if they're gone, it's going to be very difficult to come up with them. And like you said, take as many pictures as you can now. As you're evacuating. If you're in an evacuation zone, please evacuate.
Yeah.
Listen to the authorities. They know what they're saying.
Yeah. And, back to the cell phones thing, should we write down specific, I guess we'll still have like our numbers in our phone, but
When the towers are gone, it's going to be very difficult. We were
Yeah.
having difficulties when we were driving here.
GPS?
The GPS is
Me
gone.
too.
Yeah.
I drove to Lumberton to drop off my daughter with some family who lives in Charlotte. We tried to meet halfway. Took me 2.5 hours to get there, and no GPS, and they didn't have signal either. So I know that's another concern for a lot of people who are evacuating tonight and tomorrow. Is that do
GPS?
you expect that to be down for the foreseeable future? Is it?
Yes.
And is it just because there are so many people using it?
There's so many people using it, number one. Number two is there's going to be a lot more people using it with less towers. They're going to be blown away after a storm. So before the storm, if you can, right now, before the storm, when there's no storm, people using it. I don't know what areas were bad. I don't know what city we were driving through, so I can't tell you what the name
Yeah.
is. But it was no service, and our signal turned off. We just said, we know which way's east, we're heading
Right,
east.
and that's what I did too. I looked at the map. I was trying to figure out where to meet them, and I said, "Well, there's a KOA that I see, on my phone."
That's
so.
actually good. Now that you have service, now that you have internet and Wi-Fi, Get to whatever spots, learn your area, learn what streets to go and where to go.
That's true. I mean, a lot of people, and I'm guilty of it. Sometimes I'll use my GPS because I'm a transplant. I'm not from here. If I'm going somewhere new in town, I'll have to, pull up Google Maps. So yeah, I think it's important to know directions ahead of time to your hospital. All the important.
So the question is for you then, Marissa. If there's a storm, they tell you to evacuate your area, and they tell you go to Greensboro. You know how to go there?
No.
Exactly. So.
But I will find that out. But I'm not going there. I'm staying put. So.
I like that. When we were here, right here with you.
Yeah.
Preparation. That's the key.
We'll be by to check on you guys.
Yeah, we'll be.
Will you?
Yeah, yeah.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Absolutely.
I know a lot of us here. I mean, I think everybody is so worried about the storm, and everybody has their own story. And for me, it was my daughter leaving my 8-month-old, which is so hard. But everybody has their own story. Like my friend whose, father is in the nursing home, and they can't take him out. And it's so hard to process everything. Like you said, with CEOs and managers, how they have to deal with not only their family but everybody else's. So everybody has their own scary situation that they're dealing with.
That's exactly right. So you have to think of, we think of that in advance, and that's what our job is. We're trying to take away as much thinking and processing for them, pre-planning, during, and post. During, we can't get out there. It's mandated. Nobody can get out there after 40-mile-per-hour winds. Typically, your local EMT, firefighters, and police officers are requested to stay in case there's a real emergency.
Right.
Don't go out there. You see a puddle forming. Don't go out there trying to swim in a puddle, even though if you're far away. That creates issues and dangers.
Yeah.
I was in Hawaii for the hurricane, and somebody decided to swim, and the current took them, and then it put an EMT person at risk. So those are things that we have to.
Yeah, and those are reminders that we give every storm, but it seems like it doesn't matter how many times you say them. Somebody always does it.
And like power wires are an invisible killer.
Yeah.
You don't know what power lines are down.
Yeah, so we can't hear you on the mic. So can you?
So absolutely. So power lines are a biggest issue whatsoever. So if you're walking out and there's water in front of you, understand there could be a power line sticking down in there. Be very aware of your surroundings. Don't leave your house until it's absolutely safe. The firefighters and paramedics will come around, and the police officer will come around, making sure that your areas are safe. But if something happens, make sure you know your surroundings. Look around. Be very cautious. There's going to be roof parts everywhere, nails sticking out. So there's a lot of dangers, not only pre-storm, during storm, but post-storm. The things that happen after the storm. I had an uncle that actually died after Hurricane Andrew, not during the storm, but when he came out to cut the tree, he hit a power line and got hit. So those are things that we have to be aware of.
Yeah. I know my husband just bought a chainsaw, and he's prepared to, clean up whatever needs to be cleaned up. But that's an interesting point. You have no idea where these power lines could be, especially with stormwater. It's probably going to be really dark. You won't be able to see what's underneath it. So it's an important reminder.
It is. It's there's so many pointers that we like to give, but the most important one is be safe. Get to a place where you know you are safe. There are shelters in town. I know that you guys are announcing where those shelters are. Get to those shelters if you're not in a secure home. Don't think that, oh, wow, we've never had a storm, whatever. I've been through so many storms. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. Don't play with Mother Nature.
Is there any, stories that stick out to you through when you've gone to hurricanes and responded to them, stories from people who say things like that? Or do you have any, stories of caution for people out there?
Well, in one of our buildings in Marco Island, Naples, Florida, the hurricane came in through this person said she's decided to stay, and that's it. And because she's 80 years old, and I can't tell you how many storms they've told me to leave, and I've left and whatnot. That's the biggest thing. It costs so much money to leave. Nothing happens. It costs so much money to come back. So I decided to stay. Well, the hurricane went in through one of those windows and created a tornado inside and started in it. She ran out of the room, imagine 70-something years old, ran out of the room into another room, and it was just creating havoc in there. Luckily, she got away and able to talk about that story, but why would you put yourself in that harm's way? You're on the beach, on the water.
Yeah.
Why would you stay?
Yeah.
So listen to your authorities. Listen to the warnings that they have. Every 5 seconds, our phones are ringing with hurricane warnings. You guys are preparing. Listen to Marissa. She's listening as much as she can to the Weather Channel and to the powers to be.
And our meteorologist, of course.
And our meteorologist, yes.
Yeah.
We met him on the way out. Very good. Very nice guy.
So, is there anything else that you want to bring up? I know today we talked a lot about storm surge and how that is one of, if not the deadliest thing to come out of hurricanes. Is there anything that you want to touch on that?
Yes. I mean, if you those that have gone through a storm like I have, I went through Andrew. I was there. I drove through Irma or Maria.
It was Irma.
Irma.
So many you can't keep track?
I can't. I didn't know where I was yesterday. I drove through Irma, right? Irma. I drove through Irma to get to the people in Naples as we were going there because we needed to go there. Those winds picked up the car and actually I just hydroplane a few times. It is so dangerous to be out and about, and we have to do it. Some people have to do it, but it is very dangerous to be out during a storm, even after a storm, because those bands are still whipping around. You know that I might be out, but
When do you decide to go to be dispatched to go out there after the storm?
well, we'll go out there. We're being pushed out the door immediately, almost.
Do you measure the winds, or how does that finger test?
We do.
Wow.
Yeah, well, we know. I mean, we're with. Remember, we're here with police officers and ex-police officers, ex-military, current firefighters, fire chiefs, fire captains. We're here taking their advice, and they know when. They know a lot better than we do. They're not sure either, because you can never be sure in a storm. But we have faith in them, and I look at Steve, and I have faith in that guy. You know, if he says let's go, let's go.
Part of our team of experts, the weather forensic analysis,
Yeah.
they're able to assist with that. So
Okay.
they're able to provide us with those reports as well.
And so, a lot of people are probably going to be calling 911 after the storm when they can get help. When do you come into that? Because most people do not know that you are here. How do people reach you, or how do people know to reach you, I guess?
Well, where's the camera right there? So we wear black shirts with SRP signs. If you see us out and about and you want to pat our backs and give us some water, we'd love to take them. We're here to help you guys out and try to tell you guys and assist you guys as much as we can. You can reach us through our 800 number that she read earlier.
We'll put that on our website.
Awesome, thank you. And www.srp24.com. We have people manning them, and not in the city. They're outside that are manning it and getting us any information that we need. Should
911 be the first call?
Absolutely.
And then you guys are second if, I guess, nobody can get to them.
Correct.
Okay.
And we're here, like I said, we're here to stay. We're bunkering down. We all pretty adrenaline junkies. So.
I bet you are. Yeah.
Well, so
I
are
can't
you.
imagine you not being.
You're staying here too, so you're an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah, well, I'm inside the building.
Oh,
Not-
okay, well.
At least for now. So we'll see. All right. Anything else that you wanted to bring up?
No, you guys
We
are
had a
awesome.
lot of information,
We
so-
appreciate you guys because we get a lot of information that we need through you guys and through your station. So we appreciate you guys just as much as we appreciate the firefighters and the people here of public service.
We're all working together. So.
Yeah, we were here. We actually met with a couple of them. They're phenomenal people. The police officers that came here, the highway patrol, and the captain of Greensboro. Great individuals. They're very helpful. They're ready. They're ready, and I saw them stocked with the boats, the command centers, the trucks with the ladders, everything that they need in order to help out. So you guys are ready. You guys are a ready team. I like how North Carolina was compared to other states that I've seen that weren't.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. So compared to the other hurricanes that you've responded to, how would you compare North Carolina?
You guys look good. I mean, you guys look good. I like the fact that the fire chiefs and the captains are able and willing to talk to us and say, hey, we're here to help and assist, as opposed to saying, push us aside or whatever. They recognize that we are an asset, we are a help. We recognize that they are the authority and they are the rule makers, and we will listen and abide to them. So once we all play good in the same sandbox, it's a good combination for the people here in Wilmington, the people in North Carolina, the people on the coastline that will be affected, that that will be affected from Florence.
Other than the communication, I mean, what else about what you saw with our state impresses you or makes you think that we are in a good place before this storm? Sorry to put you on the spot, but I'm curious.
You have a lot of safe centers, and you guys are prepared because you're on the coastline, like all the other coastlines. The closer you are to a coast, the more prepared you guys are to a hurricane. But like they said earlier, you haven't been hit by a strong hurricane in a long time, so this is going to be a tester for everybody.
Yeah.
This is going to be the one that checks all your safety measures and make sure that you guys are, how prepared were you? Miami, we were not prepared for Andrew. I can tell you we were not prepared at all for Andrew, and it was a total devastation. Katrina, Harvey, those hurricanes also. New Orleans and Texas were not prepared for them properly, and I think.
Could you tell that when you got there, or did you find that out after?
We kind of found that out after, and unfortunately,
guess it's hard to tell.
We've gotten better at getting out our message, working alongside with you guys, and we're very grateful that you guys gave us the opportunity and the time to come out Facebook Live and on TV, getting that word out, advising individuals in advance. I don't think that anybody's thinking, let me put my insurance in a Ziploc bag or certain items into a Ziploc bag, keeping it warm and keeping it dry and safe. Nobody really thinks that. They're thinking, get gas, food, water, wood.
Yeah.
So those are the things that the people are thinking, and there's a lot of things that people have to be thinking, and sometimes we have to be reminded more than once.
And that's what we've been doing several times, but I think it's so important.
It's like mechanics that they're fixing people's car every day, but their cars are always broken down. Well, we all suffer from that. Am I prepared? Where's my insurance? As a matter of fact, I'm going to call home right now. But those are the things that we have to always be prepared for. What's my insurance policies, where we're at, and are we safe? What wall am I going to hide behind? Hide inside tubs. If it does break in, iron tub, cast iron tub, jump inside that tub and get in there and help yourself out. Tammy will know a little bit more about that, about what to do during an emergency situation. And
yeah, do you want to go over that, Tammy?
Yeah, absolutely.
segue.
All right, again, this is Tammy Mendez. She is the Managing Director of Strategic Response Partners. So Tammy, talk about when you are in the middle of a hurricane, where should you be in your house? What should you be doing?
Well, you shouldn't be near any windows, door openings, whereas where glass can break and it can come in. If you can't secure your windows with hurricane shutters, with plywood, that type of thing, it does help you tremendously. If part of your roof gets ripped off, you go to a room, you go to an area where there is not that damage. Typically, your family will stay together in one area, in one room, one bedroom. That is going to be the least accessible to the elements.
Okay. Any other advice you'd give to folks out there who are planning to stay? And we've given so many tips, but it helps to give as many as possible.
Of course. I mean, Godspeed. It's have water, have non-perishables, have Gatorade electrolytes available for you, and just pillows, blankets, waterproof gear, anything that you have that's waterproof, rain gear, boots. Make sure this comes from my lifetime of experience, but make sure you take care of your feet. It is very, very important that you keep your feet dry, keep your feet healthy, and that way when you do have to move through, who knows what you'll have to move through, the type of debris that you have on good footwear. And really it's all survival. It's common sense, really. If there's this part of your house that's blowing off, you're not going to run outside 'cause she'll blow away. You go to a part of your house that isn't. Try to avoid basements. I don't know if you have basements here, but
I don't think many people do.
Basements can be a little scary during the surge when the water's really coming in. Yeah. So I never say go to the highest level just because it is closer to the roof, but I never say go to the lowest either. So if you have a middle level of your house, just try to stay away from the windows as much as possible. Try to keep them boarded up ahead of time.
So bathrooms. I know you mentioned the tub. Is that?
It is. It's so I know we see it in movies all the time.
Right, and like
people
tornadoes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. And the new fiberglass tubs, they are what they are. They're fiberglass tubs. So if you have an older home that has those nice iron tubs in those, if you do run into a situation where you are really exposed to the elements during a hurricane, getting in that bathtub can save you. Mattresses up against windows, that can save you.
Okay, that's a good point.
That's something can be very, very helpful.
And a lot of people, myself included, are renting. We're renting
Mm-hmm.
our house, and our homeowner will not allow us to board up windows.
Wow.
So I think that's a really important point. If you're not allowed to board up windows, you can use a mattress.
Can use a mattress, definitely. Definitely cushions, couch cushions. It's all about just keeping yourself protected. At the end of the day, it's just 4 walls.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the end of the day, that's it. It's about you. It's about your family. It's about your children, your baby. It's just about staying safe, and make sure you have enough food for a couple of days. It could take 2 or 3 days before you can get out of your home.
And I'm sure you can speak to this responding to so many storms. But have you been a victim of a storm? Just curious.
I've worked the storms, but
Okay.
the most storms I've been a victim to are hailstorms. I'm from Denver, so
Gotcha.
we get some pretty bad hailstorms.
Well, I'm just curious, myself included. I'm sure a lot of people out there are going into this with a lot of anxiety. I know I'm staying. I know a lot of people out there have decided they're staying under voluntary evacuations. Mental health wise, how do you prepare yourself? I'm asking mainly for myself, but how do you prepare yourself to be in this monster of a hurricane?
It's a wonderful question, and it's not just for people that are residents that are staying here during the storm, but it's also for first responders. During a storm, you can come across some things that you would never want to see in your lifetime, and there's things that you can come across, and it can be disturbing. But mental health wise, my biggest suggestion is get some sleep. Tomorrow night, Thursday is the big day. Thursday into Friday, kind of the big day. Get some sleep tomorrow night. That way, when the storms are loud. It's a very, very, very loud experience to have. You can look at the wind and look at the rain all day, but once you hear that noise, that's the frightening part. Earplugs are really, really helpful, or like the earmuffs. Very, very helpful during a storm, during a hurricane of this magnitude. Extremely helpful. And so to mentally prepare yourself, get some rest. You have to get some rest. Stay hydrated. That's it helps tremendously. I know it sounds simple, but it really does. And just understand it's just material objects. At the end of the day, it's just about keeping your family safe.
I know some people here could probably heed to that advice.
Yeah.
Getting some sleep and eating.
Yes. Make sure I'm the worst I don't stay hydrated enough. So I always have one of my team members saying, have you drank water today? So just hydrate, and please get some rest.
2 things that she will add. For people that are renter, it's probably too late to get renter's insurance.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure you have your renter's insurance policies.
Okay.
Those are, the second thing is, if you have family, make sure you, I don't know if they can hear it. If you have family, make sure you do a proper evacuation, pre-planning with your kids in advance.
Okay.
Part of pre-planning when cell phone towers go down, I was going to mention this when Mark was on, but part of pre-planning when cell phone towers go down is that you want to have an evacuation route, and you have to say, okay, if cell tower towers go down, after the storm, and it's safe to leave, we can physically leave. This is our route that we're going to go to, whether it's meeting at a local store, a local coffee shop, or it's 10 miles down the road. If you're able to get there, have a certain time, a certain day that you're meeting there. Say Saturday at noon. This is where we're meeting, so we know everybody's
Old
okay.
school.
Very old school. And it is when we lose our cell phones, we go back to the Stone Age, because we all live. I mean, I live on my cell phone every day. I have to charge it 3 times. So it is very, very old school to have that plan. What is the middle point for everybody? If this one person doesn't go, we all go together to find this person. And then that way, give yourselves, a half hour within your time. We're meeting here at noon. By 12:30, whoever's not there, the whole team leaves. Leave one person there in case they show up to go look for that person. And that is a great, great, great way to know everybody's okay and everybody's safe.
Yeah.
Without having a phone and without having a way of getting a hold of somebody.
Oh, that is great advice.
Yeah.
Because you just don't think about going back to such a basic experience. I mean, I don't think many of us watching remember. I mean, maybe they do. My parents do. But going back to a day where you can't talk to somebody immediately,
Right.
Or even for days. So making that plan ahead of time right now, before the storm, can save lives. And a lot of anxiety.
I was just going to say a lot of anxiety. The anxiety can be that's half the problem.
Yeah.
Is the anxiety and then your imagination.
Right.
This could happen. This could happen. What happened in this area? But you can't. You have no power. And yeah, so it's a great way to say Saturday noon we're meeting here.
Mm-hmm.
And even if one person in the family just has to go to meet everybody, so everybody knows everyone's okay, that's fine. It works. It works, and you can all leave, go tend to your properties, tend to your families at home. But at least the parents, the uncles, the aunts, the brothers, the sisters, everybody's good.
And how many days after the storm would you say is a good time to make that appointment?
And it varies by storm. And it varies by how the storm comes in. I would say, okay, the day that we're safe to leave our home. When authorities tell you that you're
Okay.
safe to leave your home, say, okay, 2 hours after that, we have to meet at this place. Said and done. And it has to be that clear.
Yeah,
And that simple. 2 hours after the authorities say we're safe to leave our home, go.
that's great advice.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else that I didn't ask about? You've been through this before. You know what the big questions are. What happens during these storms? What else do people need to know?
You ask great questions, a lot of information. Everyone just needs to trust in themselves. It's the storm will pass. It will pass. There'll be a mess. And there's great people here that are the authorities, news, people that are here to help and assist the public in getting back on their feet. And they just need to trust in themselves. My biggest advice is just be safe. If you're going to write it out, we'll be here. We're writing it out. You just be safe.
And don't count on, even though you guys are here and there are people prepared to help you, you have to protect yourself and make sure you're
Always.
safe.
Always.
And don't rely on
Nope.
anybody else.
When emergency vehicles cannot get to you because of the safety of just getting to you, and evacuation's already been ordered, and if you choose to stay, it is something that you do. You have to rely on yourself and your survival instincts. So, just stay safe. Do everything within your ability to keep your family safe, and don't worry about the material objects.
Yeah.
Those can all be replaced.
And I think something that I'm trying to think about is worst case scenario and how I would react to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think thinking, all right, I will not have cell phone signal. For how long would you say they can be down?
I know in Florida it was, I believe, 3 to 5 days it was down, depending on the part of Florida, because parts got hit. We just worked Irma. I know, but for example, Puerto Rico was months without
Right.
cell phone service, depending on where you were. So it really does depend on the area. For an area like this with such a large population, the cell phones towers are typically the first thing to go back up and to get moving. Or they'll actually come out and they'll put up temporary towers. So it might take 12 tries to try to get that call through, but on the 12th try it'll go through. So they will set up temporary towers so that people can reach out, and for their safety, in case they do need emergency medical help, anything at all, and 2, for that anxiety for their loved ones.
Yeah. So I think kind of expecting the worst in that you will have to be without your cell phone, be without signal for a long time, several days, maybe weeks, and just preparing yourself and not expecting other people to help you.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, I think neighbors will help. Will
That's
always
true.
help.
Yeah.
People will always help the community. Everyone. That's the rewarding part of working a hurricane like this is you really see the humanity in people. You really see how people are willing to give the shirts off their back just to help somebody that's in need. So it's your neighbors are there to help you. Your community is there to help you. At the end of the day, when it comes to staying inside of your home, and staying safe inside of your home, that's where you just have to bunker down and just hold on. The storm will pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for
Thank
talking
you so
to us
much.
and giving us all
Appreciate it.
this really good
Absolutely.
information.
Appreciate your time.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.